Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Juniper Vale. We are continuing our World Cup predictions, and today I'm going to be doing the games for June 19th. This will include Brazil, Haiti, Scotland, Morocco, Turkey, Paraguay, United States, Australia. So today is June 13th, so I'm 6 days ahead. It is 2 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm doing things a little out of order. So the only games that I know the scores to for now are the games that were played on June 11th and June 12th. So still have a lot of games in front of me. By the time these games play out, I do not know the score of yet. So I'm curious whether knowing the scores will kind of change how I see the cards. So we will see. Let's see. The only teams that have played already that I'm reading on today are the United States and Paraguay. And I thought that one was going to be close, and it was not. So we'll see. But they had a lot of major arcana, and this was before I started using oracle cards. And I think the oracle cards have been helping me to narrow down a bit more about like who would win and who would possibly lose. So it's all a little experiment. All right, so today, don't forget to like and subscribe and share, please. I very much appreciate that. I want to get to 500 subscribers, so that would be very helpful. So let's get started. I am using the Bright Tarot, which is the traditional Rider-Waite Tarot. It just has saturated colors. So those are my tarot cards. I'm using the Emerald Knight Oracle as one of my oracle cards that come in. There we go. You can see that better. Emerald Knight Oracle. And I'm using the Victorian Phantasmagoria cards Oracle deck as well. They're all really neat decks. I highly suggest that if you're interested in them, get them. I got most of them, I think, from Etsy, some from Amazon. The Phantasmagoria is definitely from Etsy. Victorian Phantasmagoria. The emerald ones, I got that. Did I get that one from Etsy recently? I believe I did. And the tarot cards, I can't exactly remember where I got these. Could have been Etsy, could have been Amazon. I think you can find most cards in both places. All right, so the first team we'll read on for June 19th. It's United States versus Australia. They will be playing in Seattle, Washington. I believe 3 p.m. Eastern time. It's hard to tell when I look at the schedule what time zone they're talking about. I have conflicting information. I'm using the ESPN website. All right, so we'll do 3 tarot cards for each team, and then we'll do 1 oracle card for each team from each oracle deck. And then I pull any clarifiers if I feel like I need more clarity. I think what I've noticed so far is the tarot cards are giving me a good idea of the headspace, physical capabilities of the team, how they're feeling. Oracle cards are giving me a little bit more of, I think, their chances of winning. That's what it seems like so far. So, all right. So, first game, United States. United States will be on my left. Australia will be on my right. This here. 3 cards for the United States. Ooh. We have the 10 of Swords. Oh, we have the 9 of Swords. We have the 4 of Wands. Not bad. Australia, we have the High Priestess. We have the King of Pentacles and the Moon. I mean, already Australia has much more favorable cards. So this is very interesting. The US beat Paraguay 4-1. So they did very well when they played. I don't think Australia has played yet. From my point of view, since it's only June 13th, they are playing today. They're playing Turkey later on today. So what I think these cards are saying from the off start, the High Priestess card is about study. So it's about studying, doing your homework, learning. So when I see that, I always think of a team really looking at the other teams or whoever they're playing and really studying how they play. I feel like Australia will have studied the game that the US played against Paraguay very much before they play them. And so I think that's where the high priestess is falling in. They have the king of pentacles. Pentacles are not only about money, but they are also about physical capability. And having a king card when it comes to physical capability is very good. Talks about leadership. It talks about, it's the highest card of the minor arcana. This is somebody who knows what they're doing. They're kind of like a master. They know how to delegate. They know how to lead. So having a King of Pentacles is telling me that it's a very strong team physically. And then we have the Moon card. The Moon is an interesting card because it can mean various things. It can mean things like secrets. It can mean things like shining light on something hidden because it's not as bright as the sun, but it does cause you some light. The dogs, there's a dog, I believe, and a wolf or a coyote, not sure, howling at the moon. There's a crustacean coming out of the water, which is interesting because crustaceans really shouldn't come out of the water. So it's kind of like the moon is like gathering everyone, causing things to act strangely in a way, which is, interesting when you look at the whole werewolf kind of mythology. Um, so this Australia is prepared. They've studied. They have fantastic physical capabilities. The moon is a little weird because it feels like maybe they have some tricks up their sleeve people aren't expecting that could come from the studying, or it could mean that maybe some things go wrong. Somebody acts a little differently than the team expects. A team member is like a little off. That could be true as well. United States. So the first two cards I got are just very bad cards. They really like these very bad cards. I don't know why. So I got the 10 of swords. Swords are difficult situations. This card, you can see this person's been stabbed in the back many times. That to me can feel like bad refereeing, or at least the US thinks there's bad refereeing. They could be feeling like they're getting stabbed in the back. The the tens are also about a completion, could be all sometimes you wanna say it's like a completion. If there are good cards after it, I would say there was a maybe the first part of the game, they don't play that well, but then they get through it. But I get the 9 of swords right after, and the 9 of swords is also a very bad card. It's about despair. This person is basically crying. They woke up from a bad dream, or they they are very there's something on their mind, they can't sleep. It's the card of despair. So maybe they feel like they've been stabbed in the back. It gets to them a bit. It bothers them. But then we have the 4 of wands. Now, in earlier videos, I said I do like to see wands when it comes to sports because wands are about willpower. They're about that enthusiasm. So it's like, even if you study well and you have a lot of physical capability, if your head is not in the right space and you don't have that enthusiasm for it, um, you might not do as well as you could. So I think the United States, maybe they're gonna maybe early in the game or as they're coming into the game, they're gonna there's some pressure or there's some despair. There's something bothering them. But the Four of Wands is also called the marriage card, and it's really about creating a structured foundation and plan. So they still have a plan going into the game, which is very good for them. But as of right now, Australia has the better cards. So let me look at the Oracle. One Oracle card for United States and one for Australia. United States got the cauldron, Australia got stars. So the cauldron is about change, alchemy, and creation. So it's a good card for creation, saying something goes wrong and they need to sort of focus again and create a new plan. And I think that makes a lot of sense with the Four of Wands card. Like something went awry, but they need to make another plan, and they do. Um, so that's interesting. I think it really brings those cards together. For Australia, they got stars. So the stars card is about hope, inspiration, and guidance. So they're going to have good guidance from their captain, from their manager. They have a lot of hope that they will do well, which is good to have for the psyche. Now, for the Phantasmagoria cards, let's tie this all together so we can get an answer. I got the black cat for the United States, and I got ectoplasm for Australia. Sure, what do these mean? Ectoplasm for the United States is evidence, spirit, energy, and oh no, that's ectoplasm is for Australia. Evidence, spirit, energy, and fraud. The black cat is protection, guard, defense. So it's interesting how the oracle cards are kind of tying this all together because originally I would say Australia has much better cards. Then I take out the oracle cards and I'm like, but it looks like the United States is keeping their head in the game. So maybe things don't start off well. Maybe they get some yellow cards, red cards, or there's some penalties that are just not deserved. But they have a plan, they have a foundation, and they are able to do changes, right? They are alchemists. They're able to create new things, which is when a new plan comes about. And they are on the defense though. So maybe Australia, is very strong, maybe because of whatever issues happened in the maybe the first part of the game or whatever part of the game where something bad happens. US is kind of on the defense, but they're hanging in there, right? They're not giving up. So that's very good. Australia, they did their homework. They're a very strong team. There's something a little odd going on with the moon, little things. They may have little tricks up their sleeve, but there are also maybe little things coming up for them that they're not expecting, but they have a lot of hope. They have good guidance. And then they have the ectoplasm, which again was about evidence, spirit energy, and fraud. So how is that tying in? Spirit energy and fraud. So I feel like the ectoplasm is going along with the moon. It almost feels like I don't want to say there's like a crooked ref, but something weird is kind of going on in the background for the Australian team that may not be their fault. And it may not be the US team's fault either. It may be something that they're not able to control that goes higher up than both teams. It's not giving me a clear winner. I think Australia plays very well because I see the US team kind of coming back strong, I think. Um, I feel like it's going to be a tough game. I kind of want to give it to the United States just because of the coming back from whatever is going on down here. I would say all these cards are very good. This moon and this ectoplasm card in the background for Australia is odd. They have the strength, they've done the homework, but there's something weird going on back here that I feel is to their detriment, and it may be something unfair. So that's very interesting. I think the US is gonna win. I don't know how strong of a team Australia is, that I have no idea. Um, but I guess we'll see. I don't think it's gonna be a tie. I think the US is gonna win. I don't think they're gonna beat Australia as well as they beat Paraguay. So I'm gonna go with the US. But it's very interesting. I This moon card and ectoplasm is I just find to be very interesting. I'm very curious. That's the thing about like tarot and oracle. You could be finding things out and you're just like, what does that mean? And then like 6 months later, you find out, oh, there was fraud in whatever, or the cards came up this way because of XYZ. And it's like, oh, that makes sense now. But I needed it to make sense when I asked. So next we will be doing Scotland and Morocco. Again, two teams. I don't know their strengths. Don't know. And I don't usually remember who I said would win the last time. I like to kind of keep it out of my head. There are some teams though I do remember, like the US and Paraguay. That was I wish I had done oracle cards for that one. So that's why I'm sticking with also having the oracle cards just in case. So Scotland and Morocco are playing in Foxborough, Massachusetts, 6 p.m. So that's the East Coast. The US and Australia were playing on the West Coast. Scotland and Morocco. All right. Scotland will be on my left. Morocco will be on my right. All right. Scotland. The Fool, Page of Cups, the Lovers. Morocco, the Eight of Wands, Judgment, and the Three of Cups. All right, it's kind of like a little bit of a mix. The Fool is the first card of the major arcana. The Fool is somebody who is ready to go. He's about to he's not looking where he's going. He's at the edge of a cliff, right? But he don't care. He is ready to begin his journey. Um, so the Fool is it's not necessarily a naive, oh, it's kind of like a naive card, but it's somebody who's at the start of their journey. They're very excited. They're ready for whatever comes their way. The Page of Cups pages are that apprentice of the court cards. The Page of Cups is interesting because you have this person who is looking at his cup and it's got a fish in it, which could be all in his head. Or he could be actually carrying around a fish, but the fish looks like it's talking to him. So cups are about emotional, social relationships. They're all about intuition. They can also be about culture, love, romance, that sort of thing. Pages are a preparation for success. So they're very willing to learn and they're hopeful. I think that this is basically saying emotionally, they're kind of like the Fool. Like these cards are kind of very similar. They are very hopeful in this game and in what they're doing. Um, Maybe they feel like they can beat Morocco. Maybe they feel like they're the stronger team. They feel that confidence. We also get the lovers card. So lovers again is about more social relationships. It doesn't necessarily have to mean a love relationship. It can mean any type of relationship that people have with each other. This could be something like the teammates have a great relationship with each other, or the manager, the captain, everybody is like, they communicate well, and they feel like they have a partnership. So that is very good. Um, it's good for a team to feel like a team, right? instead of feeling like individuals. So I think Scotland are going into this with confidence. Sometimes the fool has to make sure they don't have too much confidence. But I don't want to say they're not worried, they're excited. Um, but I'm basically seeing a lot of very good social relationships and communication. This isn't telling me anything about athletic ability. Morocco has an interesting first card, the Eight of Wands. Wands are very good cards for that enthusiasm. The weird thing about the Eight of Wands is that all the wands are going down. So it's almost like if you think about archers, right? They let go of the arrow and then the arrow goes down, and it's like an attack, right? So it kind of looks like Morocco will go full force in the beginning with an attack. Like they are like on them. Maybe they're a little too full force because then we get the judgment card. And that could say penalties, red cards, green cards, red cards, yellow cards, they're going to be judged. They may be a little too crazy off the bat, right? They may cause a little bit of an issue for themselves. Because then after that, I get the Three of Cups. Three of Cups is nice because it's a celebration. You have these three people, they're toasting to each other, and that's very good. That's an agreement. That's a social relationship, a bond. I think the team, they won't let whatever happens with the Eight of Wands and Judgment to kind of bring them down. They'll regroup, and they have that social relationship with each other. Um, let's do some oracle cards because I don't have a clear winner yet. So, oracle card for Australia. We have the letter. Oracle card for Morocco. We have magic hat. So the letter is about messages, written communication, basically communication. So again, I think this is just basically saying yes, the Scottish team has great communication with each other. Um, doesn't really give me anything else new. Magic hat for Morocco, mystery disguise transformation. So I think they're going to come in a little hot in the beginning of the game, but they're going to transform. They're not going to keep making mistakes. I think they're going to not necessarily hold back. They're going to regroup and say, okay, let's try this a different way. The ref's not going for it. For Scotland, we got the Seraphim. And for Morocco, we have the cemetery. We've gotten these before. Seraphim, this is the third time I've gotten the Seraphim. That is about divine fire, purity, and holy obsession. So you see the Seraphim is all those eyes and all those wings as well. So there's like a divine sort of push to this. Maybe they feel like something higher than themselves has their back. And that holy obsession is interesting because I think they have that drive to win. So even though they're coming in like fools and like pages, almost like too happy go lucky, they still have that drive. They know, they're not they're a professional team. They know what they're doing. Morocco has the cemetery. Cemetery's not that great because the first thing it makes you think of is death, right? Here lies the people that did not win. So mortality, buried, finality. That's not necessarily good. I would say. I think Australia is gonna I'm not Australia, sorry. I think Scotland is gonna win. I may have called Scotland Australia a few times, which I did not mean to if I did that. So Scotland and Morocco, I think Scotland is going to win because I don't see any particularly negative cards for them at all. I think they're going in with the correct headspace. They have good communication. They have good relationships between each other. The seraphim is kind of like the icing on the cake, right? Morocco comes in a little hard and they get judged for it. They regroup, which is good. They transform, but they get the cemetery in the end, this finality. So, maybe they score some points, but I don't think they win. And I think it's because of their earlier going into too hot. So I'm going with Scotland. Very interesting. Let's see who's next. Ooh, Brazil and Haiti. Ooh, oh, Brazil. What I know about Brazil, very strong team. Very, very, very strong team. What do I know about Haiti? Nothing. I know absolutely nothing about Haiti. Who else does Haiti? Oh, Haiti plays Scotland today. So I'm curious to see how that Haiti Scotland game will go. I don't yet know those how those games end up. Um, but like I said, Brazil. Brazil is a powerhouse. Basically, it's easy to say. It's pretty easy to say. Whenever you have Brazil come up, you're like, oh, they're gonna win, right? Consciously, my mind is like, winner, Brazil. So we'll see what the cards say. I'm very curious to see how the cards come up for teams that tie. We did have a tie between Canada and Bosnia, so I gotta look that over. See how my prediction went with that. See the cards that I got. So Brazil and Haiti are playing in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So East Coast, 8:30 p.m. Not far from moi. Brazil and Haiti. All right, Brazil on my left, Haiti on my right. Let's get 3 cards for Brazil. Okay, Brazil. You got the Ace of Swords. You got the Tower, but you got the Queen of Wands. All right. Haiti. You got the Hermit. Ooh, you got the Five of Cups. I feel like I get a lot of the same cards. And the King of Swords. Huh. So this is interesting. Ace of Swords, aces are those beginning cards, right? If they talk about focus and clarity of purpose. Swords are about difficult situations, but when it comes to the court cards and swords, I see, especially if we're talking about sports, I see power. I see ready to go into battle. So Brazil comes into this with clarity, with purpose, and ready to play. They do have a tower moment, though. Towers are not good. Towers are about destruction. There's something falling apart. So you see here the tower is struck by lightning. It's on fire. People are falling out of the tower, jumping out of the tower, jumping ship. So that's going to be very interesting for them. But then they get the Queen of Wands, which is nice to get after the tower because again, the wands are about that creativity and that drive and that enthusiasm. So even though they have a tower moment, they don't lose enthusiasm. Queens are very wise, right? They have developed skills and they're not intimidated. So say they have some type of tower moment. Maybe they feel like they are judged unfairly by refs. They are not going to let that bother them, right? They still have that clear enthusiasm going for them. And that could be even be just like the fans, right? Out and there for them. Uh Haiti has the Hermit. The Hermit card's a little bit of a loner. Like, this is a person who is really thinking things through, what they've done in life, trying to find their path, trying to figure out what's next, thinking about what they've done well, what they haven't done well. So I think that's kind of them preparing for the game. And then they get the Five of Cups, which is not good because they're focusing on things that have gone wrong. They're not looking at the two cups that are still there, right? This person looks also like the Hermit. They're feeling very alone in a way. Maybe the teammates are not very cohesive. I don't see good communication here. I see psychologically, they're not strong. We do get the King of Swords, which again, like I said, the swords are the court cards ready for battle. Kings are good leadership. So maybe they have a good captain and they have a good, or they have a good manager and they're trying to keep them together, trying to bring them together and say, don't cry over spilled milk when you have 8 other bottles of milk over here. So that's good. But these both of these cards are not very good cards. You don't want to go into a game with your mind like that, right? So let's do some oracles. Oracle for Brazil. Anchor. Oracle for Haiti. Letter. So the anchor is a great card for Brazil. It talks about stability, profession, and work. It's basically saying that they are a very stable team and they're very professional. They're a force to be reckoned with, basically, right? You set down an anchor and you're not going nowhere. So I don't think they're stuck. I don't think it's saying that they can't move forward. I think it's saying that um, they have that stability so that the tower moment doesn't get to them. And that's the kind of card you need when you get that tower card. They also got the wax mannequin. Um, Haiti has a letter, so that has written communication messages. So I think the team are going to get the message from their captain or their manager of get your head straight. You got to get your head straight for this game. Maybe they're having hard, difficult moments during the game, and the manager's just like, "Hey, get it together." And they get that letter in the mail telling them to get it together, and maybe they listen to it, but they get the mourning card. And that's, I mean, right there. That's like mourning, death, lament, grief, sorrow. That's loss, right? So I would say right now Haiti is losing just from that mourning card. I mean, they got these guys look like they're mourning up here. These ladies are mourning. The captain's like, what are you guys doing? Wax mannequin. I've never gotten that card before. That's the first time I gotten that card. Facade, stagnation, and loss of identity. So I think Brazil may have a few tough moments because of that tower card. They're a strong team. They're stable, but it may trip them up a little at the end of the game. Even if they win, that tower card may what's the word I'm looking for? It may cause them a little bit of psychological stumbling and they have to get over that. But I think they will because they have the Queen of Wands. They'll probably have a lot of fans on their side, and I think that's going to help them a lot as well. So I'm definitely going with Brazil. This gets more fun every day. It's not fun when my predictions don't turn out correctly because then I feel really bad. But like I said, this is my practice of tarot. I'm working on it, working on it, working on it. See what comes up, see how things sound. Try my best. Remember, this is for entertainment purposes only. Don't place bets on what I say. I am not a doctor. I am not a lawyer. I am a person reading tarot for fun on the internet. Don't go to DraftKings or whatever and all of a sudden say, well, Tapioca Thievery said the USA was going to lose and she was wrong. So therefore I'm betting against what she says. Don't bet what I say and don't bet against what I say. You never it's just do what you want to do. But don't bring me into it. All right. So last teams, Turkey and Paraguay. They are playing in California, Santa Clara at 11 p.m. So they are playing on the West Coast. We're going to have Turkey on my left, Paraguay on my right. Ooh, 5 of cups again. Turkey. Oh, but the 6 of cups is good. That's good. And then the 5 of swords. Ooh, 2 5 cards. That's not very good, but it could turn out okay. Paraguay. We have the 2 of cups. We have the 6 of swords. And we have the king of swords again. Look at this. All right. So 5 of cups, like I said, focusing on things that have gone wrong. 6 of Cups though is nice because it's a little bit like a charitable card. You see this person taking care of somebody else. So usually the smaller person is a child, the taller person is an adult. Either the adult is giving the child some flowers or the other way around. Either way, it's a very sweet card. So kind of sharing. It is about also about good communication. The cups are about that social aspect, right? So maybe they feel in the beginning socially they're just not there, Turkey, but they kind of make up for that. And they start to work together very well. The 5 of swords is difficult, right? Because usually when I see a 5, that says to me difficulties. However, 5s don't have to always be difficult because they also talk about um, being physical, being having freedom, being resourceful, curious, playful, but they can be impulsive. Sometimes they can be too much to handle, 5s. So a 5 of swords, not that great. I mean, this is like the picture here depicts this person picking up all these swords, and the other 2 people in the background are very sad. So, in a way, this person is taking other people's swords, kind of collecting them for themselves. They almost look like they just won a battle, or they're picking up the pieces from something that failed. So that could be interpreted certain ways. In a lot of ways, this could be saying, maybe Turkey has a hard time in the beginning, but they have some issues, but they start kind of picking themselves up, brushing themselves off. Paraguay has the 2 of Cups, very good cards. 2 of Cups, you're making a partnership, you're making an agreement, you're meeting with someone, you're having a good time. It's like a meeting of minds. 6 of Swords, these people are making it away from that 5. They're going to safety and they're making it across the river. They are taking some time to breathe. The King of Swords again is that leadership. That is a person that's ready to go into battle. Maybe again it's a manager or captain, right? Giving them advice. So Paraguay, I think they lost to the US pretty bad, 4-1. But I don't see it so much as affecting them. They're still in it, right? They may be taking some time to go over that battle that they had. But there's nothing in here saying to me that they're going to come into trouble as opposed to Turkey is kind of like they're getting through it. They kind of have a hard time in the game. So let's do some oracle cards. Turkey. Oop. Let me put this back in. Turkey and Paraguay. Oracle card for Turkey. We got woman. Oracle card for Paraguay, we have the key. So the woman card is a signifier of a woman or partner. So how would that fall in to the game? Signifier. I don't know if they have, let's see, Turkey. I don't know if there's like anybody on the management team that's female. I mean, I don't know how often that would come up for a lot of professional football in the world. So I'm probably going to need the other oracle card to help me think that through. You could also look at the woman as the traditional feminine qualities of nurturing, shrewdness, wisdom. Let's see. What do I get for phantasmagoria for Turkey? I get clown. Blech. The key for Paraguay talks about solution, opportunities, and success. So that says to me win, right? They have the key to success. What do they get for phantasmagoria? They get haunted. So to me, that says the haunted card says they still have that game with the US on the back of their mind, kind of, it's back there, kind of bugging them. But they're going to have success. The clown card is interesting. What did the clown card mean again? And that is a scary clown. Like that is not even a nowhere near fun clown. Creepy illusion exaggeration. Creepy illusion exaggeration. I think they're going to get worked up in emotions. Like they're going to try to get themselves together and they're going to work together, which kind of is what the woman card comes into. Woman card does well for working together with somebody. They're going to work together with each other. They're going to try to pick up the pieces, but I don't think they're going to make it all the way through. I think they're going to have a hard time in this game. Um, they're going to try their best, but I'm going to go with Paraguay. Paraguay got the key, success, King of Swords, Two of Cups, very good cards. They have to make sure they don't get stuck in that loss against the US. They want to make sure that if they're taking it a little easy, they can't take it too easy. They have to keep going. So I'm going with Paraguay with this one. All right. So between Turkey and Paraguay, I'll go with Paraguay. All right, everybody. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Thank you for leaving your comments. I love seeing what other people have gotten. It's a lot of fun. Like I said, we can have our own little competition. Let's see. And again, today is June 13th. So right now it's 2:50 p.m. Eastern time. There are going to be some teams, I think, getting ready to play soon. I have to record another video before that. And I hope everybody has a good day. Please like, subscribe, share, hit that notification bell so you know when I put up another video. I'm pretty much putting up a video every day when it comes to the World Cup. And let's get to 500 subscribers. That'd be a lot of fun. I'd really appreciate that. So thank you for watching. Have a great day.